Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Nikki, and I'm with my fellow Customer Success Manager, Brian, and we want to welcome you to today's webinar on e-signatures for paperless renewal signing. This is just one of our latest and greatest features that we're excited to share with you, so thank you again for coming. So eRenewals is something that MDS rolled out about a year ago with a lot of great success. We've got many happy customers using the program already. So we'll delve into some of the key benefits of the e-signature program and show how it takes this entire renewal process virtual for both your occupants and your staff. Got a lot of good stuff to cover, so let's get started. First things first, we have this e-consent form. For stabilized residents, the DHCR requires that consent is received before e-signatures can be accepted. So we make that process as easy as possible with this e-consent form, which you can run directly out of MDS, like any standard report. The e-consent document itself is also eligible for e-signing too. So upon your occupants signing this form digitally, the e-sign consent status code would then get automatically assigned via the system, which is pretty cool. But alternatively, we've also had many choose to include the forms with rent bills. So as the forms are returned, the e-sign designation is as simple as assigning a status code to the occupant. And just as a quick note, this consent form is not necessary for your fair market renewals. It's only applicable to your stabilized occupants. The next thing you'll need is for the occupant to have a valid email address on file. So if missing emails is maybe a pain point for you, this is a good opportunity to get your records updated. We make that process as easy as possible as well with this report that we have designed specifically to help you track missing or invalid duplicated email addresses throughout your database. Gathering the consent and the email addresses is something that you can actually get started with right now. It's a great way to get the system ready to go. So when the program is implemented, a lot of that legwork's already done. Moving on to the actual renewal process, the process in its entirety can be broken down into these 4 steps: create, send, manage, sign, and import. So from start to finish, we're talking about a handful of clicks for all parties involved. So this is likely a lot easier than what you're probably doing now. Just getting a little more detailed here with step number 1, creating of the documents. So as you can see, one of the great things about the eSign program is that if you or your staff are already producing renewals out of MDS, there's no learning curve here. Besides a very easy to use dashboard, you're going to be interacting with a lot of the same screens that you're used to. So for example, creating documents is going to be very familiar to you, right? Many of you are already using our system supplied stabilized renewals and our fair market renewals. So those documents and their associated riders are already prepped and ready to go for eSign. However, if you are using any custom renewals or custom riders, we're happy to outfit those documents for e-signatures as well. Preparing the documents itself is essentially the same process that your staff's already accustomed to. And so once the documents are created, MDS integrates directly with PandaDoc, which I'm sure many of you have used before, or at least an application that's a lot like it. The feedback has been that the user interface could not get any easier to navigate. So that's what we're here for, right? Simplify things where we can. So on that note, we're going to do a quick screen swap, and Brian is now going to demonstrate what the process is going to look like in MDS. Brian, please take it away.
Okay, so here you can see a screenshot of the eSign dashboard. This is the main hub for eSign, where you'll find everything eSign related. This dashboard uses real-time intelligence. And as you can see, there are filters that will help you find specific documents, and it gives you a flexible range of filtering out the documents that you do want to see. You see those filters at the top right there. This is the main hub for eSign documents. So you would find yourself opening this a lot when renewing your tenants. You use this dashboard to upload documents to related parties, check the status of documents who still needs to sign, who has signed already, import completed packages directly to MDS, including the images of the documents and data of the documents, which gets inputted into the system automatically. And you can skip scanning and attaching renewals because you can just import multiple documents with one click on the dashboard. One thing to mention is you also have the option to prorate renewal charges if you receive a signed renewal late. Rather than having potential user error, eSign can automatically retro charge for you, so you don't have to create those manual cash receipt adjustments. So once you send out your document, it really walks every party through the whole signing process. Our eSign supports dates, multiple item selections, such as the 1 or 2 year options, and it also automates workflow from occupants to the owners. And what this means is the system is smart enough to have the occupants sign first and then forwards the document to the owner to sign afterwards. You can also have multiple owners sign, which is set on a building level. and you can get pretty dynamic with this. You can have up to 5 occupant signatures and up to 3 owner signatures. Here you can see we have the occupant file, and we have an email and a status code for the e-sign consent set. So we know that this person can receive the e-sign documents. And if you go to the report launcher, the shortcut, you can see those documents in there. And we'll just run a standalone renewal here for the 1 unit, although you can just run for an entire building, and any unit that has the lease expiration for the month that you select, it will just automatically generate an e-sign doc for any units that have the e-sign status code and the email. So we created 1 e-sign document. So we close out of this, and then we can go to the dashboard, which is found in the other tasks at the bottom. And here we can see the line item for the pending upload that we have for the unit that we just ran a report for. And if you double click on that line item, it will show you the document that got generated, which you can just review before you send it out. So now that we're ready, we can just click the upload button, and we can select the 1 item, or we can select all by typing A, and it will just go through the whole list that you see currently, and it will just upload anything that needs to be uploaded. So now we're going to take a look at the occupant side of the signing process. It says 0 out of 1 tenant signed. So here we can see the email that gets received by the occupant, and you just open the document. It's going to walk you right through the whole process. So you just have to follow and then complete it. And then it's as easy as that. So you click start, click select. You can select your 1 or 2 year option, select your date, and then just sign. And now you just hit finish. And now the occupant side is completed. So once that is done, then you can refresh your dashboard, and you can see in real time the status of this document has been updated. So we're checking status, and it says finish processing 1 record, and it says waiting for final owner's signature. So now it is on the owners to sign. And just one thing to mention, on the dashboard, if you have 3 residents signing, it could say 1 out of 3 or 2 out of 3 residents. It'll tell you exactly how many people still need to sign or have signed already. And it'll say the same thing for the owner's signature side as well. So here we have the owner's side, and it's basically walking you through the same process, just putting the date and your signature, and click finish. And it says all set, documents complete. And you can also download a copy of your signed document, which will also include a signature certificate at the last page. And you don't have to go through this step right now. When you import your documents, it will automatically attach this entire document to the occupant's account. So it'll attach it to their letter log. And here you can just see the signature certificate. Okay, so let's go back to MDS. And it says waiting for the final owner signature, but if we refresh status from cloud, it will update the status, and it will say finish processing 1 record, ready to import. And now you are ready to import. So click the import button. It will then import the document, and it will also import the new charges for the renewal into the charges screen of the residence account. Okay, finished processing 1 record. And now it says import charges complete. So if we go back to the occupant's file now, we can see that the renewal is attached to the letter log, and you can also view it. So you always have this at any time. It includes the signature certificate as well. And then if you go over to the charges screen, you can see that it actually will automatically calculate the renewal charges for whichever terms. If it's a 2-year, it will calculate both years. It will also include the lease start and end date too. And if you have additional security, it'll also automatically upload those security charges. Here we see the advanced filters. So you can filter out any documents that you don't want to see, or if you're looking for something specific, you can show all if you want. You could use the columns at the top to sort your lists once you filter them. So you could do alphabetically, building by building. or by unit in a building. And you can see it's color coded. So these are some of the features that you just saw in the system. You can prorate imported charges when appropriate, and it'll just do the adjustments for you, like you can see right here. And at this point, this is Nikki's slide.
Great. Thank you, Brian. So we believe that many of the benefits of the program speak for themselves. But just to build on that, we've had some clients do their own independent cost analysis to show that the e-signature program really does save them on money and time. We're talking about the obvious savings of printing, buying envelopes, certified mailing costs, but there are also some of the less tangible things like the turnaround times of the documents being signed and returned, scanning and attaching, data entry, the potential for data entry errors, etc. So based on the feedback from clients that are already on board with eSign, we're quite confident that this has been a big win for them. So that's one of the main reasons why we're excited to see more people get on board here. It does make this aspect of the business more efficient and easier, which is a nice change of pace, I hear. And just as a quick aside, while our focus has been on lease renewals, we'd love to hear suggestions on other documents that you may be sending out into the world to gather your signatures on. Renewals are the most obvious and popular document type, but the technology can be applied to many different forms. So please, if anything comes to mind, let us know. Thank you everyone for joining. If you have any questions on anything we talked about here today, please don't hesitate to reach out. And thank you again.